What up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D. Now we're gonna look at Mississippi real quick. People of Mississippi, the state's rich food resources and favorable climate accommodated a greater variety of tribes and a heavier Native American Aboriginal population than any other southeastern state. The first European settlers found the Mississippi country inhabited by three major Indian tribes. The Chickasaw lived in the north. I showed you pictures of the Chickasaw. The Choctaw in the center and the south. And the Natchez along the lower Mississippi River. Those are Negroes too. The trail along which they tracked buffalo became known as the Natchez Trace. In 1729 through 30, a short war with the French all but wiped out the Natchez tribe. The Choctaw surrendered their lands to the United States between 1820 and 1830. Most of the members of the tribe moved to Indian Territory in present-day Oklahoma. In 1832, the Chickasaw Indians also ceded their lands and moved west of the Mississippi River. The descendants of a tribe who refused to leave the homeland still live on the Choctaw Indian Reservation near Philadelphia, Mississippi. Until the end of the French and Indian War, in 1763, Mississippi was settled chiefly by the French and Spanish. During the late 1700s and early 1800s, the region became populated almost solely by English, Irish, and Scottish settlers from the southeastern states. All right, and let's go further down right here. Until 1940, there were more black citizens than whites in Mississippi. I'm going to stop right there. All right, and I'm going to turn right here. I'm going to show you. This was the flag. I think they changed it. All right. You see this X again? This X symbol? Our people use this around the world. They hijacked this from us. Now, I'm showing this again. I'm going over it again. I'll also look at the bird symbol. But I'm going over this again. It's to explain to you how it was the black people that were already here. You already had your black population already here. Most of us are already here. We did not come from Africa. We were already here. I already showed you pictures of Natchez. The Choctaw and the Chickasaw. I showed you pictures of those. Those are Negroes. Also showed you the symbol of the X, how black people in Europe had that on their shield. Many of the black nobility had that on the shield. And then you see the X symbol with the Aztecs, with some of their building structures. That stuff, all those symbols are already here. We built this land. This is our land. I'm trying to, and I want brothers and sisters to really understand and pick up this information. Everything was stolen from us, man. Everything was stolen. Even this, man. Even this. You got to pick up on the little details and see how everything was stolen from us and how we are descendants of the Aboriginal blacks that were here. A lot of those black people that you found in Oklahoma, a lot of them are probably descendants of those black people from Mississippi. Many of them migrated there. You know, so I can't tell you anymore. It's really sort of frustrating because I've been studying this for years, and you still have people with their degrees still telling you or trying to argue with you that you only came over here in a slave ship. And the information right there in this book, once you know who the Choctaw was and the Chickasaw were and how they looked, they're telling you your history right in front of your face, man. It's in these books. But they basically made our history into a puzzle. They broke everything off, and we got to reconstruct it back together. There's some of us who know this, some of us don't. You're not taught this in any school, man. They don't teach you this in school. They teach you, like I said earlier, that you're a slave from Africa, that you have no connections here to America, that you were stripped of your language, stripped of your culture, you know nothing, you come from some African tribe. That's an insult, man. That's an insult to your ancestors here. I showed you in previous posts, even with these Capitol buildings design. This stuff is just a hijack of the Aboriginal blacks who were doing it here already. I showed you image of Montezuma and the Aztecs and their building structure in the back, and they had the same design that you see here, that all the Capitol buildings that run this country. They got that from us. All right, I'm looking at, here's the climate. All right, climate in Mississippi. If I can focus on it, get it. Okay, Mississippi has a warm, generally humid climate with long, hot summers and short, mild winters. In the summer, the average temperature is about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius throughout the state. All right, throughout the state. All right, now you got to also think about some of our brothers and sisters wore light clothing. They could not have been pale skinned. You have to have dark skin to withstand the heat. All right, to take the heat and to take the ultraviolet rays, the heat from the sun and the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun that's penetrating your skin. You had to have dark skin because they wore light clothing. Some of them wore no clothing. I'm emphasizing this because you got to use the common sense, man. You have to use common sense when you study this stuff. And he used the Mississippi River to travel north and south and to maneuver within the continent. Within the so-called North America, they used the Mississippi River and then other tributaries like the Missouri, the Colorado, the Ohio, to travel in and out throughout the damn landmass. We have to stop listening to these Negro professors and these Negro teachers and these Negro historians because they continue to lie and they continue to ignore our rich history here. We have a rich history here. And we have to understand that. I'm going to stop there with this video. I got some more stuff dealing with Aboriginal blacks here. Still trying to find my book that I have, the coffee table book with the Etruscans. I have other books on them, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to focus on the Etruscans. I also want to talk about the Romans. But I'm going to get to all this. That's down the line. But I want to emphasize this. I want you to pick up on certain things. I showed you the picture of the people before. Those were Negro people. But in this book, they don't come out and say they're Negroes. But if you knew how they looked, how they originally looked, who were these people, they're just telling you the truth in this book, who originally were there. But you've been reclassified as a Negro or an African American when you're actually Aboriginal and you were a descendant of the Aboriginal tribes that were here in the Americas. You must understand that. All right, brothers and sisters, peace and love. I'm trying to come with another one, man. I'm doing some reading anyway. But I'm trying to come with another one. Another video. Another video to talk about. I also want to show you this. If I can show this. All right. Our history and culture is around the damn world. All right. See that little dome shape again. Peace and love, brothers and sisters. Peace and love.